Oh, yeah.
New York Living Well, where we get to the bottom of buzzwords in the health and wellness space.
You know these words.
A lot
well,
of
you
mystique
think
behind them.
you know these words. Here to guide us through these terms and explain why you should be fluent in them is Dr. Joshua Lander. Hi. He's a clinician, researcher, and adjunct professor at Sacred Heart University. His area of expertise is neuroscience regarding rehabilitation and exercise. Welcome back to New York Living, Dr. Lander.
Good morning. Good morning, Alex. Welcome back.
Thank you, Lander. It's so nice to see your smiley face.
And all those teeth.
I
think
bright
he has more
white
teeth than the average person.
I'm very distracted.
Okay, we're talking about
intermittent fasting, and this is the studio was a buzz when they heard, because it's one of those hot things where people are like, oh, I can do this and I'm going to lose weight, and that's all we know about it.
Yes.
So please break it down. What exactly does that mean, intermittent fasting?
Sure. Well, the crew at PICS is right on that. Intermittent fasting will definitely, among other diets, it has been shown to help people lose weight. Again, many diets are effective. Intermittent fasting can be thought of as time-restricted feeding or time-restricted eating, which means that you are going to eat in an allotted time period of the day. And the most typical is between 12 noon and 6 p.m., or what's called the 18-6. So 18 hours not eating and 6 hours eating.
Huh. Okay. So, oh, and look at that fancy graph.
There we go.
So
there you go. So you have an 18-6 or a 16-8 are the two most common intermittent fasting intervals.
Okay. So what are the benefits then of intermittent fasting?
Sure. Well, from my opinion, the biggest benefit is it actually gives people a plan.
Oh.
Most dietary strategies, diets, they revolve around giving people a plan and a structure. However, intermittent fasting, some research shows that it is actually more effective at helping people improve their metabolic health. What does that mean? That means that their blood sugar regulation will be improved. It means that their cardiovascular health will be improved, lower cholesterol, et cetera. So these are some areas of the research that are still being done. It can help type 2 diabetics because, again, with the insulin control and blood sugar control.
Now, okay, so the diabetes thing sticks out to me. So that, in your opinion, would be someone who would benefit from perhaps trying intermittent fasting. So can you break down a little bit further who else might be a good candidate and then who would not or should not participate in the intermittent fasting?
First of all, any weight loss will help a type 2 diabetic, somebody that has established diabetes through lifestyle changes, overweight, obesity, poor blood sugar control. So the type 2 diabetic certainly is a candidate. They should speak to their doctor, of course, before trying, because the intermittent fasting is, again, you're going a long time with, relatively speaking, without food. It takes a bit of discipline. People that should not, or maybe that should be wary of attempting intermittent fasting on their own, of course, teens and children who are growing, specifically anyone with an eating disorder who is low weight. We don't really approve. We don't want those people attempting these types of diets on their own. And then people with type 1 diabetes, type 1 with insulin-dependent diabetes that need medication, this is really not the diet for them, and they should also speak to their doctor about dietary changes.
I have a question about this intermittent fasting, because I feel like it became in vogue in the last 5 or 6 years. And I know people who have done this, and when they're not eating, some of them exercise during that fast within an inch of their lives. And then when they go to eat, they're ravenous. Is that counterproductive to the intermittent fasting? Should you be exercising when you're in your fast part of the intermittent fasting?
Yes, I mean, the intermittent fasting trend is very popular amongst the exercising community or the high interval training community. So the research on whether people should exercise in a fasted state or not is kind of controversial. The research can go either way. The one thing I will say about that is the benefits of intermittent fasting is that if it does help with blood sugar control, it can help with hunger. It can help with an adaptation to times of typically being hungry, so that you adapt, so that you actually will have those feelings less. So because your metabolism improves.
Okay. Okay.
One last question for you, Dr. Lander.
Yes.
So you get through the fasting part, it's 12 o'clock or whenever you decide you're going to eat. At that point, is it counterproductive to then go to McDonald's and drive through and just say, you know, I only have 6 hours, but I didn't eat for 18 hours, whatever. Let me just get a double
Let me just get that
cheeseburger, some
Happy
French
Meal and
fries,
7
whatever.
Big
Or
Macs.
Yes.
should you still be kind of regimented in making sure you have your proteins, your healthy fats, your healthy carbs, whatever?
100%. The feeding period, the eating period is still a healthy period. It should be still a balanced diet, a Mediterranean-based diet that we talked about previously, because intermittent fasting does help. It has shown to decrease inflammatory markers that we talked about a couple weeks ago. So that's another benefit. But certainly the time to eat is not a time to just eat whatever you want. That's not what this is about.
Be mindful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a time for healthful eating. And then there are other times, I like to think of people that
80-20.
if they spend most of their time eating well, then they have special occasions when they can, you know, indulge.
When they can have a
Amen.
cheesecake. She's getting an A+ in your class, by the way.
I was just going to say, I hope
Yes.
there's a test at the end because I have been taking copious notes.
Dr. Lander, thank you for your time.
Very good. Very good. Thank you for having me again.
We love having you. You can follow him on Instagram or Threads at Lander Movement. If you're not already, I don't know what you're doing.
It's good
You learn
content.
something new every day.
Very good content.